Alright, let's dive straight into our first topic, the all-important task of properly cleaning your bicycle. Now, you might think, I ride my bike, not clean it.
But trust me, a clean bike is a happy bike.
It performs better, lasts longer, and just looks darn nice. Dirt and grime buildup, you see, isn't just an aesthetic issue. It could seriously affect your bicycle's performance. Picture this. You're pedaling hard, but your bike just doesn't seem to respond the way it should. It feels sluggish, heavy, like it's stuck in mud. Sound familiar? That's your bike crying out for a wash. Begin with a basic exterior clean. Use a bucket of warm, soapy water and the soft brush or sponge to gently scrub all the surfaces. Make sure to get into those hard-to-reach spots where dirt loves to hide, like under the saddle, around the brakes, and within the gears. But here's where it gets a bit technical. You see, your bike chain is like the heart of your bicycle. If it's clogged up with dirt and grime, your bike's performance will suffer. So, you'll need a good quality chain cleaner tool and some degreaser. Attach the tool, spin the pedals backwards, and watch as that grime just melts away. And don't forget about those tires. Keeping them clean not only helps maintain grip, but can also help you spot any wear and tear before it becomes a problem. Use a stiff brush to dislodge any dirt or pebbles trapped in the tire treads. After all that scrubbing and brushing, rinse your bike thoroughly with clean water. Be careful not to direct a high-pressure hose at the bearings, as this can force in water and displace the lubricant. Finally, dry your bike off to prevent rust. A good old-fashioned towel works fine, but if you want to be fancy, use an air compressor or even a leaf blower to get rid of the water in no time. And there you have it. Your bike is now squeaky clean and ready to roll. Remember, regular cleaning not only keeps your bike looking great, but also allows it to perform at its best. So, don't shy away from giving your trusty steed the spa treatment it deserves. If you will show you. So, we've got a clean bike now, but we're not quite done yet. Next on that agenda is learning how to properly lubricate your bicycle. You see, lubrication is like the elixir of life for your bike. Without it, metal parts would rub against each other, causing wear and tear, and eventually, rust. But with it, everything operates smoothly, and your bike will have a far longer and happier life. The most obvious place to start is the chain. After you've cleaned it, you'll want to apply a good quality bike chain lubricant. Simply hold the bottle above the chain and slowly turn the pedals to distribute the lube evenly. You don't want to drench the chain, just enough to give it a good coat. After applying, give the chain another back pedal spin to help the lubricant penetrate into the chain links. Now onto the derailleur. That's the mechanism that moves your chain from gear to gear. Apply a drop of lube to the pivot points of the derailleur. This will help keep your gear shifts smooth and precise, and save you from those unexpected gear jumps when you're tackling a tough hill. Next up are the brake and shifter levers. A drop or two of lube at the pivot points can make a world of difference to their performance. First, and while you're at it, don't forget to lubricate the brake and derailleur cables. A little lube can keep them moving freely for a smooth, responsive feel. Finally, let's talk about pedals. If your pedals are squeaking or hard to spin, they might need some lubrication. Unscrew the pedals, apply some grease on the threads, and screw them back in. Just make sure you're screwing them in the right direction. The right pedal has a regular right-hand thread, but the left pedal has a reverse thread. Remember, lubrication is not a one and done deal. Regularly check these parts and reapply lube as needed, especially after riding in wet or dusty conditions. It's a small task, but it makes a huge difference in how your bike performs and ages. So keep your bike well lubricated and you'll be rewarded with smooth, efficient rides. Plus, you'll feel like a real pro doing your own bike maintenance. Moving forward, let's chat about routine bicycle inspection. Now, this isn't as daunting as it sounds, I promise. It's essentially about doing a quick once-over of your bike regularly to check for any potential issues. Think of it as giving your bike a little health checkup. First things first, loose components. Grab each part of your bike, the handlebars, saddle, pedals, wheels, and give them a little shake. They should all feel solid and secure. If anything rattles or moves more than it should, we'll need to tighten it up. But be careful not to over-tighten, as this can cause damage too. Next up, tire pressure. This one's a biggie. Incorrect tire pressure can affect your bike's handling, increase tire wear, and even lead to punctures. So you'll want to get yourself a good bike pump with a pressure gauge. Check the side of your bike tire for the recommended PSI. That's pounds per square inch. Pump the tire up and use the gauge to check you've got it just right. On the topic of tires, it's also essential to check for wear and tear. Look for any cuts, bulges, or bald spots where the tire tread is worn away. If the tires are worn out or damaged, they need to be replaced. Riding on worn-out tires is like driving a car with bald tires in the rain. Not something you want to experience. And while we're inspecting, don't forget about your brakes. Squeeze the brake levers to make sure they're working properly. If the lever feels loose, or if it pulls all the way back to the handlebar, it's time for a brake adjustment. Also, check the brake pads for wear. If they're getting thin, replace them. Trust me, you don't want to find out your brakes are worn out when you're speeding down a hill. Finally, give your chain a quick look. It should be clean and shiny, not rusty or caked in grime. If it looks dirty, give it a clean and re-lube. Routine inspection might seem like a chore, but it's a small price to pay for a bike that performs well and keeps you safe. Plus, catching issues early can save you from more significant problems and repair bills down the line. So, show your bike some love with regular checkups. It'll thank you for it. All right, let's roll on to our next topic, making minor adjustments to your bike. This is where you fine-tune your machining for optimal performance and safety. It might sound a bit technical, but hey, you're a bike owner now, and this stuff is good to know. Let's start with brake tuning. You remember we checked the brakes during our routine inspection, right? Well, if they're loose or not working as they should, here's what you do. Continue. Most bikes have a little screw on the brake lever, known as the barrel adjuster. Turning this screw adjusts the tension in the brake cable. If the brake lever feels too loose, turn the barrel adjuster counterclockwise to tighten it. If it's too tight, turn it clockwise. Go easy though. Small turns can make a big difference. Moving on to gear tuning, which can be a bit more involved. If you find that your gears are jumping or not changing smoothly, it might be time for an adjustment. The exact method depends on the type of gears you have, but generally, it involves adjusting the limit screws on your derailleur. These screws control how far the derailleur can move, and thus, which gears it can reach. Sounds complicated, right? Well, it can be tricky at first, But with a little practice and maybe a few YouTube tutorials, you'll get the hang of it. Remember, when adjusting gears, small changes are key. Turn the screws in tiny increments and test the gears after each adjustment. Remember, these are minor adjustments. If your brakes or gears are still not working correctly after your adjustments, it might be time to seek professional help. Some issues, like a stretched cable or a bent derailleur hanger, are not easy to fix without the right tools and knowledge. So, there you have it. With a bit of patience and practice, you'll be tuning your bike like a pro in no time. And trust me, there's nothing quite like the satisfaction of a smooth, responsive ride, knowing that you've put in the work to make it that way. All right. We're on the final stretch now. Let's chat about the importance of regular maintenance schedules and when it might be time to seek professional help. So we've gone through cleaning, lubricating, inspecting, and adjusting your bike, right? Now, the question is, how often should you be doing all this? Well, the answer is, it depends on how much and where you're riding. If you're a daily commuter in all weather, you're going to need more frequent maintenance than a fair weather weekend rider. As a general guideline, a basic clean and lubrication should be done every 8 to 200 miles. More thorough cleaning and inspection should be done every 2 to 300 miles. But remember, these are just guidelines. If you've ridden through a mud puddle or a dusty trail, you might need to clean and lube your bike sooner. Now on to when you should seek professional help. As much as we'd all like to be master mechanics, there are some repairs that are best left to the pros. Things like wheel trimming, bottom bracket replacement, or hydraulic brake servicing can be complex and require special tools. If you're not confident, it's better to take your bike to a professional mechanic. They'll be able to diagnose and fix the problem, and you can learn from them for future reference. Remember, it's not a failure to seek professional help. Everyone starts somewhere, and there's no shame in admitting when a repair is beyond your current capabilities. Plus, by supporting your local bike shop, you're helping to keep the cycling community alive and thriving. And that's it for our Maintenance 101, caring for your bicycle. I hope you found this information useful and that it helps you keep your bike in top shape for many happy rides. Remember, a well-maintained bike is a joy to ride, so take the time to show your bike some love. Happy riding.